wooden steering wheels, wooden seats, wooden engines, and they wouldn't work. So we had to get these brand new John Deere tractors, courtesy of Sunbelt Rentals and Kern Machinery. And if you guys need some tractors for your property, they're a good place to start. They hooked us up. Do you guys like blueberries? You guys like blueberries?
Yeah. Yes, I love blueberries.
Awesome! I love blueberries too. We actually have 14 different species of blueberries we grow here on the farm. And every 2 rows is a different species of blueberry. They grow on these bushes over here. Well, these blueberries stay within the continental United States. They're only the second largest crop on our farm. They span from those palm trees all the way to the palm trees at the other end of the farm. Well, that's only the second biggest crop. These cherry trees are the first largest crop. These are our world famous cherry trees. When the Murrays purchased this land in 2002, these cherry trees were here, so they're about 30 years old. They produce 50 different kinds of cherries here on the farm, and they go all over the world to places like Japan, China, South Africa. Eastern Europe gets the lion's share, but we even send some to South Korea, and I believe New Zealand and Brazil get some too. Our cherries are wonderful. We actually paint them with a calcium oxide paint so they don't get sunburn in the middle of the summer. Now, we have our nectarines right here, a vampire's favorite fruit, the nectarine. Alright, lame joke, but still. You guys like nectarines? Who likes peaches better than nectarines? Who likes nectarines better than peaches? Did you guys know there was originally no such thing as a peach tree? There were only nectarine trees. And then one day, because of a random genetic mutation, a nectarine tree suddenly started growing a fuzzy fruit. That was the first peach. So sometimes you can still find nectarines growing on peach trees and peaches growing on nectarine trees because there's only one gene difference, and that controls the fuzz. We actually make small little cuts called girdling in our nectarine and peach trees, which forces more nutrients to the top instead of putting them more in the ground. You get a bigger, juicier, tastier fruit that way. And now we're passing by our pumelos, one of the ancestors of all other citrus. Those are really special pumelos. We tint them in the spring so they never develop seeds. They never get pollinated and develop seeds. And then we tint them again in the fall because in the right farmer's market, every single pumelo could sell for as much as $20 a piece. And all we need is for Nino or Nina to decide they want to chuck one to their brother or sister, and all of a sudden we start racking up damages. It's much cheaper just to tint them. Now we're passing by these trees here. You might think they're still nectarine trees, but these are actually our peach trees. They're our peach tree grove. You can actually graft branches from one nectarine to a peach and from a peach to a nectarine. Kind of interesting. And now we're coming up on the corn maze. This is one of the fan favorites. Everybody likes to try and solve our corn maze. And in fact, because it is the 75th year anniversary of the Peanuts, if you were to take an aerial view look at our maze, you'd see it's in the shape of Charlie Brown and Snoopy's faces.
No way.
So you can get stuck in Charlie Brown's face. Wait, that sounds weird. I'm going to move on. We actually use feeder corn to plant our maize, which is the right kind of corn to feed to cows, and not even cows really like the flavor, so we wouldn't like the flavor. But feeder corn grows really super fast and strong, makes for a really good maize in order to get people lost in, for people to solve. Our blueberries are interesting too. They wind up in a lot of farmers markets. Many get harvested super green and sent to farmers markets in LA where they're picked up by very posh celebrity chefs and restaurants and pickled as a substitute for capers and turned into really high-end restaurant dishes. Alright, I showed you those other trees. Those cherry trees were pretty far along. These guys are baby cherry trees. This is a whole new growth. We planted it because we've done so well with the cherries. But our cherries over here are only 4 years old. It's going to be another 2 to 4 years before they even start producing cherries. Your average cherry tree takes 6 to 8 years once planted to produce cherries. So the best time to plant a cherry tree is 8 years ago, and the second best time is right now. These guys use a special pruning technique developed in Australia where you truncate them very, very low down, and they start growing vertical branches. You only want vertical branches. You cut off all horizontal. And that way, once they have 30 vertical branches, they stay the same size. You can have one person come up and bend each branch down, harvest all the cherries by hand. You don't need a ladder or a saw. Now, because we're here in the foothills, our weather patterns are actually a bit on speed dial. In fact, our cherries are able to get out to market a month and a half before anybody else can get their cherries out. And many of our other fruits are usually a half a month to a month early. All right, we can see all the people that survived the maze here. Who wants to try and brave the maze? Anybody want to brave the maze? Yeah? Okay, we're going to park right here and open that back gate for anybody that wants to attempt it. there are clues all throughout the maze relating to Charlie Brown and a Great Pumpkin.